31 minutes after the hour. We are live from Studio 44 in downtown Wenatchee on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. My guest today has an open invitation to come by and see me whenever he wants. And Ramon said, I'll come down on Wednesday and say hi because we want to talk about what you guys did October 10th through the 14th, Mariachi, Wenatchee, at their nation's capital. First of all, welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you.
And introduce our friend here.
This is Pilar, and she's our president of Mariachi Huenachi. So she's one of my officers. So we're just, she wanted to come and be on your show. She's never been on your show, so, you know.
What do you think
so far?
Awesome.
What is the president of what does that role entail, president? What do you have to do?
Well, in general, it's just making sure everybody's on task and things are top notch and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So.
How did you get the job? Were you like vice president last year, so you automatically inherited it? Or did Ramon just say you're it, or was there a vote? How did that work? How did you get the gig?
Well, first of all, you have to basically audition and give a speech and really sell yourself and say like what you're willing to offer towards the group leadership-wise. So we had to give a speech, and Mr. Ray chose me as one of the officers. So
we had 16 students apply for officers.
Wow,
so it's an honor to be an officer.
So to use, say, a marching band analogy, you would be like the drum major if it was a marching band. Well, that's considerable responsibility.
Yeah.
Do your fellow students pay attention to you when you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, all right. Before we start talking about the trip, and we got tons. This is the itinerary, by the way.
Yeah.
Take us back in time. The genesis of this entire field trip. How did this whole thing come together?
Well, what happened was Congressman Riker always came and visited us every year and would come and talk to the kids and talk about leadership. And so I told him, for the last 3 years, I've been asking, how can we get to D.C.? He goes, well, let's try. And we tried and we tried. And so this year, all the stars aligned. He was able to talk to the Speaker of the House, Mr. Paul Ryan, and Mr. Paul Ryan sent an invitation to invite us to play for National Hispanic Heritage Month, which is September 15th to October 15th. So we were very honored to receive this invitation, and with the help of Congressman Riker, the Country Music Awards, the Country Music Association Foundation, and the National Music Association, a National Music Teacher Association, and in our community, we were able to raise enough money to send all 31 students to go. And it cost about $35,000, but it was just amazing experience for my students. And I think from seeing the White House, from seeing the Library of Congress, to seeing the actual Constitution, I just got a shot of patriotism. I mean, I was just even prouder to be American after that, because you just don't realize the sacrifice that many of our leaders gave. And one of the highlights was the kids went to the Air Force Memorial, and 3 busloads of World War II, Vietnam, and Korean veterans came out. And
just by coincidence?
Just by coincidence, we just happened to go to the memorial, and the kids shook each of their hands, said, thank you for your service, and the veterans were like, wow, you still remember us. So they had a great exchange. And then they were explaining like the names, and these are the people we flew with, and it was just a very touching moment. And it was a group from California. So that way of bringing kids together, and also veterans and kids. I don't know. It was just a very emotional trip.
There are field trips, and then there are field trips.
Yes.
This was a field trip with a capital
Yes.
F. What stood out for you? Was there any one particular part of the trip that you're going to remember when you're 80 years old and a grandmother?
I would say the Kennedy Center, just because, one, it was beautiful, to say the least, and also our tour guide for that specific, like the Kennedy Center, she mentioned that John F. Kennedy really liked the whole idea of performing arts, and I thought that was really cool. So.
I'm casting an assumption here, but you correct me if I'm not. My guess is for the vast majority of Mariachi Wenatchee students, this is probably their first plane trip.
About 20 of them, it was their first plane trip. So when we got on the plane, I started passing out gum, And they're like, what are you passing out gum for? You go, you'll thank me later. But yeah, because some of them never, been on it. And, the ears start popping and being on there and going through TSA and going through all the fun stuff. It was fun checking in 30 sombreros through TSA. I mean, I tell you how fun that is.
Well, not only sombreros, but you had to bring your instruments with you.
And
Yeah.
how long did that take?
It took a while.
But it was fun. It was fun. That's part of the experience.
You bust from Wenatchee to SeaTac?
Yes, we bussed from, so that we could go through there, because I don't think our little planes here could take all our instruments. No, it was just
The itinerary is fascinating. There's 35 things here, and I'm amazed you crammed all that into the 4 days. Who was in charge of logistics, the itinerary, the bus, the plane? Did you have somebody helping you out?
Well, we had a...
that's a lot of work.
Yes, we had a company called World Strides that helped us organize everything, but it was not just me, it was the congressman's office. He took care of a lot of the details because, there's offices in D.C., like he was able to give us tickets to the Holocaust Museum and tickets to this, and I think anytime you go to D.C., you should contact your congressman's office, because
That's what they're there for.
They could bend over backwards and show us places that only a United States congressman could go. And that was part of the greatest thing, is that Reichert that afternoon took us everywhere. Took us to gavel coverage, and he showed us his voting card. I mean, he just took us places, because he, as a United States Congress, you go wherever you want in the U.S. Capitol, and he took us everywhere. And so him personally and his staff went above and beyond. And our tour director from the travel company, he was amazing. He was the one who helped us stick all those 35 things in there. It helps when somebody knows the town.
So what Ramon is so delicately trying to say is, between October 10th and 14th, Congressman Reichert didn't get a lot done. I'm kidding. The congressman has a great sense of humor.
The congressman is great.
Very funny.
I am a fan, and I think he's one of the greatest congressmen there is, because he really believes in the kids.
Did you guys get a chance to play it all during? I mean, this is a lot of riding around in buses. When did the actual music fit into all this?
I think we played the second day we were there. It was a little nerve-wracking, but overall it was a fun experience.
Where physically did you guys perform music at in the nation's capital?
We played at the U.S. Capitol. We
Inside
played
the Capitol?
Yes, we played in the Capitol. Well, see, Congressman Reichert is one of the chairs for the Ways and Means Committee.
That's the people who control the money.
Yeah, the people who control the money. And so he was able to have a reception at the Ways and Committee room, which is huge. Mm-hmm. And so he invited congressmen and women from all over the United States to come and watch us perform. And we were very fortunate to have, of course, Congressman Reichert and the Speaker, and also Congressman Newhouse came from our district. But there were people from congressmen from Florida, from Tennessee, from Nashville, from all over the place to see us perform. The biggest moment for me and the kids, I think, was to play the national anthem for it in the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. It doesn't get better than that to play. We learned the Star Spangled Banner, and it was just, you get chills, because to play that song in our nation's capital and for National Hispanic Heritage Month, what a great honor. And it was great that people from around the country came to see the kids perform.
Learning the Star Spangled Banner is not easy to play for anybody. It's difficult to sing, and it's got all kinds of, it's a strange key, it's bizarre. Who decided on what songs to play outside of the Star Spangled Banner? What else did you play? Who decided what the itinerary was going to be? How much practice did you do? Because the last thing you want to do is perform in front of all of these important lawmakers and screw up. So how was that decision made? Address that.
Well, overall, I feel like Mr. Rera and really the whole class kind of decided on which songs would be played, other than like the anthem and whatnot. But I think it was overall like as a group, and we wanted to show a good mix of mariachi music, because I think a lot of times it's folk music, it's not real music, but I think they really saw that these guys are amazing players. What was really neat was the congressman's office streamed the whole performance live on his Facebook, and the Country Music Association streamed it, and the National Music Association streamed it. Then other people streamed it. Our school district streamed it. So people from across the country, I think the last thing I saw was at
20,000 views. 20,000 people across the nation saw it.
And I was one of them.
Yeah, you were one of
I
them.
was one of them.
And I don't think that was a prouder moment that with the power of Facebook that people are able to stream this live. And I know your Facebook streamed it too. But I mean, how cool is that? That we're so far away and people wanted to see the performance. And all I saw was just great comments from people around the country and how proud they are of our kids to perform in our nation's capital.
You brought another student with you, and we're going to take a commercial break and bring her on. And we're also going to show some pictures. Question for you: at what point during this trip was the epiphany like, "Wow, we're really doing this? That's actually the Capitol building. That's actually the Washington Monument." Did you have a gee whiz moment there?
I did, like, especially when we were like actually at the main Capitol building. We see the rotunda and all that stuff. I thought it was beautiful, just the like very intricate detail that everything had. So that was really beautiful.
You brought a bunch of pictures with you. Let's go ahead and throw up a couple, and you can just tell folks at home what they're looking at there, Ramon. Real
All
quickly.
right. This is, the minute we got off the plane, we went directly to the White House. We had a White House tour, especially by Congressman Reichert. There's Tyler, his assistant, and this is just, isn't it cool just to take a picture in front of the White House, our nation's capital? I just thought, what a proud moment. From Wenatchee, Washington to the White House, you can't beat that.
Did you pop into the Oval Office and say hi to President
I
Trump?
did, but he was kind of busy.
He was
so,
a little busy.
yeah, so.
Let's throw up another picture. That, of course, is the Lincoln Memorial.
Well, just, when I saw on the side of his memorial and it said, all men are created equal. I mean, there was no greater president than President Lincoln. And for him, to see that, and the guy who freed slaves and who ended the Civil War and brought this country together, it was very emotional to be there.
I'm a big fan of Rutherford B. Hayes. I think he's number one, but we won't get into that. Kayla, let's throw one more picture. That is that's maybe my favorite photo.
Yes, it's beautiful. So the minute we saw the U.S. Capitol, we were like, wow. I mean, there was like wow moments, but to get the kids in full uniform and with our principal, Mr. Anderson.
Eric Anderson went. Talk about that real quick.
Well, our principal, he's actually from D.C. He was born in D.C., so he goes, can I go? And I said, I would love the principal to go. And it was a proud moment for him because they were just bragging about Huenachi High School. Bragging in Huenachi. And first I was saying, we are from Seattle. He said, don't say that, we're from Huenachi. And so people got to know where Huenachi is. So I was proud of the support of our administration. And we love your sister, BJ. She's number one. Hi, BJ.
I know she's watching.
I know she's watching. I love BJ. She's number one.
It's 43 minutes after the hour. We're going to let you exit the stage here for just a little bit. And not quite yet. You got to wait till we get to the commercial. And who's going to be joining us on the second?
We have Kelly, who's our vice president, who's going to be joining us on there.
More with Ramon and Mariachi Huenachi and their great trip to Washington, D.C. We've just barely scratched the surface. We got a lot more to talk about. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
When it comes to tough, versatile workhorses, nothing compares to Kubota's full line of RTV series utility vehicles. Engineered to last and designed to deliver, Kubota's RTV X series doesn't just lead the way on rugged dependability, it leads the pack. From big jobs to small projects and daily chores. Choose from America's top-selling family of diesel utility vehicles to help you do it all.
The Kubota dealer in North Central Washington is Valley Tractor and Equipment in the Baker Flats Industrial Park, East Huenachi.
And we are back with Ramon Rivera, the director of Mariachi Huenachi, and the vice president. Ramon, please introduce.
This is Kelly, and Kelly's our vice president, and she, you met Pilar, our president, so part of their job is to do PR, and do interviews and represent the group well, and I think Pilar did a great job, and now we get to hear from Kelly.
You're vice president, so you're automatically president next year, or what? I forgot. I've lost track.
She graduates. She's a
Oh, you
senior.
graduate.
Both
Okay.
these are seniors. It's
Okay.
sad.
You're going
I
to miss
know
them,
we're-
aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to miss
But
Kelly.
you got 300 kids in
I
the program.
know, but these guys are superstars. All of it. Each of my students are superstars. So it hurts every year when graduation time comes.
Yeah, I know it does. So you did, this is the itinerary. It was a 4-day trip, 35 different stops over 4 days.
Yes.
So that's a whirlwind.
Well, you know me, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to make sure the kids see everything. And some of those things we just got to see like for 15 minutes and 10 and half an hour. But the tour bus used a lot of gas. Believe me, they went everywhere. And I was so proud that the kids were able to fit all that in because this is a once in a lifetime experience.
Highlight for you, Kelly, what was your favorite part of the excursion?
My favorite part would be, I think, the Arlington Cemetery. I think we experienced one of the, I don't know what it was called, but they
The
took
changing
one of
of the guards?
Yeah, and it was really powerful.
So you got to play a little bit of music, but most of this was sightseeing and things like that.
Yes.
And you had, we mentioned before, Eric Anderson, the principal of Wenatchee High School, escorted, along with your friend of mine, John McQuaid.
Yeah, John McQuaig was awesome. Well, and we also had Lucy Garcia, who's a teacher at Lewis and Clark, and we also have Maribel Covarrubias was a parent. So we had plenty of chaperones and had a great time. But what it wasn't a prouder moment for Wenatchee because that Thursday when we met all our legislators, they were so proud of what these students have done. And it was just a great way to let our legislators know what a great program we have here in Wenatchee.
And the fact that you did 35 things in 4 days meant it was very structured. There wasn't a lot of downtime, was there? It was pretty much go, 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 go. But that's the way you should do it, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much downtime did you have?
Well, when we came back to the hotel, I think it was 30 minutes.
That was it, huh?
Yep, and why not? We're in D.C. I mean, to see this. I mean, there's the Smithsonian, there's the memorials, there's the Kennedy Center. I mean, it's just nonstop. The Holocaust Museum. I mean, there was so much to see. I mean, we could have spent another 4 days and saw more stuff, but
Well, let's raise another 34
yeah,
grand
let's
and
do
push
it. Let's
on
do
an
it. Let's do it. Let's go back. Let's go back in the spring.
Let's take a look at some more photos that Ramon brought with him from the trip to D.C. Great photo there. That is Congressman Scalise in the middle, who, of
yes.
course, was very critically injured during that shooting back in June. That must have been a cool moment.
Well, he was doing a Fox News interview on the other side. What's really cool in the Fox interview, you could see us in the back, and I went to ask to see. I went to his assistant and see if he would take a picture, but you know, I'm not a congressman, so what
But
happened
you're
is
Ramon.
I'm
You're
Ramon,
hard to
but,
say no to.
But I was really proud because I asked Congressman Reichert. I said, "Can we get to meet Congressman?" And he called him over. Hey, Steve, come here and take a picture with my kids. And so it was a touching moment. And I thought he was in a wheelchair, but he actually stood up. And he got up, he goes, I'm going to stand up for the kids. So that was a touching moment for us. And I got to tell the kids his story, and it was really emotional for all of us.
It's a beautiful picture, but before we take that down, there's a lady there in the black and white striped blouse and the yellow dress. Explain her
Yes,
role in all this.
we have the Country Music Association Foundation. I won as a CMA National Teacher of the Year. Last year, I'm Teacher of Excellence. They chose 6 teachers in the nation. And with those 6 teachers, they work with the schools and they become a CMA school. And so they found out what I was doing and they said, can we come? and they brought the CEO of they're getting ready for the Country Music Awards in 2 weeks, but they said they love promoting music education. So that's Tiffany Kearns, and she's an amazing lady and a great advocate for music education. I was so proud that she was able to be there.
Let's go to another picture from your trip from Washington, D.C. Or do we have any more, Caitlin?
Well, this is a picture with Speaker Ryan.
Okay.
And Speaker Ryan was amazing to meet with because, he's probably one of the busiest men in Washington, D.C., but he gave us about 15 minutes of his time. And when he came in, he shook the hand of each of the kids.
Wow.
And you saw,
that's
the great photo. See, that's my cell phone, so my cell phone's famous. What happened? Well, what happened was with the speaker, I was trying to get the phone setting correct and all this, and he's all, hey, Ramon, give me your phone, and I'm like, no, I want to take the picture. He goes, no, let me take the picture. And he goes, my arm is longer. And so everybody was laughing. And so we were able to take a selfie with the congressman, with the speaker, and what an honor that is for us. I mean, you could see that moment. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's had a good time.
Every picture, everybody's having a good time. There's not a forced smile there.
No. We were, I think, from ear to ear. And then, of course, with our Congressman Reichert, he said this is one of his proudest moments of having us come down here, because it's been about a 3-year goal, we've been working, and all it took was one visit to my students, and he was hooked. He says, I want to help these kids.
Congressman Reichert is going to be right here in the Wenatchee Valley tomorrow. Talk about that.
Tomorrow. So tomorrow, Congressman Reichert's coming to my classroom again for the 4th or 5th time.
I think he knows the way.
Yeah, he knows. He goes, I'm going to your classroom, 103. But the point is tomorrow he has a special recognition from the White House that he's bringing personally. Didn't tell me what it is, but I know that NCW Life is going to be there, Wenatchee World, and KPQ. And what was really cool was that we get to end this whole journey with Congressman Reichert coming back full circle. You can't beat that. And also, the other thing is that the whole school celebrated, and the send-off that we had. I mean, you were there for I was glad that North Central Washington Life is always there, but they were there for the send-off.
That was cool too, the parade through the hallway.
What was about that, Kelly?
It was actually really nerve-wracking for me because everybody was cheering and they were happy and they were like, "Yeah, go!" But
so they stopped school at the end of the day. 5 minutes. They ended school early for us, a non-athletic team, because usually it's when kids go to state or with the football team or the baseball team or the softball team. But they had the Golden Apple Band, the cheerleaders escort the kids to the bus, and everyone came to the hallways. What a magic moment for our kids. So,
Kelly, you're going to graduate. Mm-hmm. What are you taking with you on the next step in life that Mariachi Huenachi gave you?
A lot, actually. I was really shy, so now I'm just kind of, out there and really bubbly, and that's so different than what I used to be. I also learned how to do a lot, manage my time, because with Mariachi Huenachi, you have to be, on your grades because you're going to be gone so much. We just got back from D.C., and we're leaving this Friday again, and then from there on, we just keep leaving.
Where are you going Friday?
They're playing in Walla Walla for the Saturday and Sunday. They're going to play for our Day of the Dead celebration. Okay. So, because it's October, so it's the Day of the Dead month, and so it's a great celebration. We go to Walla Walla. They're world travelers, man. They're world travelers.
Yeah, they're everywhere now.
Yes.
One other people I think we need to thank, and that is, we talked about there were field trips and there are field trips. Anytime any group organization affiliated with the Wenatchee School District takes a field trip, you got to fill out forms and you have to get permission from the school board. And they were on from the get-go.
Next Tuesday, I'm going to be at the school board meeting. They gave me 10 minutes. They said, make sure it's only 10 minutes, Ramon. But
Ramon will take 20.
I will take 20, but I promised our superintendent that I would only do 10. But I'm going to be taking our students and thanking the school board, but also showing them those great pictures that we took and showing them the 35 things that we did. And it took a village for all of us to go. So it wasn't just, what I love it was Republicans and Democrats and independents, and and senior centers and schools. I had schools like John Newberry School. They had a bowl in their front office, and people would just donate, and they send it to me. They send it to our school. I mean, it's just, what is this? The whole community stepped up so that these kids could all go to Washington, D.C.
A number of reporters spoke to you about this great trip. Most of them, as we mentioned, we talked about this off camera, were trying to politicize this just a little bit, weren't they?
Well, and I had people that told me not to go, and told me that, said that, because of what the president said, or because of what the speaker said, or because of that. And, I think we're above that. These are kids, and this is our nation's capital. And I think we should be able to visit our nation's capital, no matter who's in power, whoever's this, because I don't believe this was a political trip. We're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, music, art, and culture, and that's what I'm about. I'm not about politics. I was just proud that people, the majority of people kept that out and saw the kids as kids and enjoyed their music and celebrate Hispanic culture, and on a holiday on a month that President Reagan started in the 1980s. So I'm just, what an honor, and for Congressman Riker to come back full circle and to, I mean, he really loves the kids. He knew the kid's name. He goes, "Hi, Junior. Hi, Kelly." I mean, what congressman knows the student's name? So I'm impressed.
We got about 3 minutes left. Decompression is all over. You guys have been back for about 3-4 days now. Is everybody back to work now and back to playing? And
We're still getting used to the time zone.
Well, the thing is that everywhere I go, the community's like, "I saw you on Facebook. I saw the pictures. I saw you in the newspaper. We are so proud of you. We are so proud of your kids. You made Huenachi, you put Huenachi on the map." And there's no other greater feeling that to have our community. I mean, going to Safeway, they were telling me, we read your article, congratulations. We're so proud of the kids. There's no greater sense of community. And that's why I love living here in the Wenatchee Valley, because they support the kids and they support the arts, and they said they were so proud. And it took a whole village to make this trip possible, but it's because of people like you and the school board and the Country Music Association. I mean, it's going to be unforgettable. This is something that they'll never, ever forget.
this is going to sound like a silly question in the short time we have left. We know you're going to Walla Walla, a city so nice that they named it twice. Now what? I mean, you guys just,
Carnegie Hall. I don't know. Why
The
not?
fundraising
The
starts
UN.
today.
The UN.
The
We
UN.
got to play for the UN.
We're gonna
My
send the
principal
kids
said,
to New York City next
I would
year."
love to go to Tennessee. I want to take them to the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, there's tons. I don't know. It'll be hard to top this. It'll be really hard to top
Well,
this.
you're going to take home a lifetime of memories. This
Yeah.
is something that you will never forget. I remember when I was a senior at little old Huenachi High School, and Ramon shoved us all in a bus, and we took a plane, and we went to Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Because everybody should visit our nation's
Yes,
capital.
it was beautiful. I mean, the buildings, see the actual Constitution, that was.
When can we have about a minute left. When can we see Mariachi Huenachi perform again? I want you to pick up the instruments and do it.
Well, we have our
Here in town.
Yeah, we have our winter concert December 8th, and Wenatchee High School, and we also in March we have our Mariachi Northwest Festival, which I'll be back on your show to
You're the
promote.
director of that, right?
Yes, I'm on there, and it's on March 23rd at the Town Toyota Center. And you could go on our Facebook, Wenatchee High School Mariachi, Mariachi Wenatchee, Twitter, Instagram, WHS Mariachi, for the latest updates. But I just want to thank the Wenatchee Valley and thank everyone who gave from $1 to $100 to $5,000 to make this trip possible.
These kids got to go to school. You
Yes.
got to go to work. Ramon, thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great Wednesday.
Bye.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.